Hello, Onyx Isis. This is Jessica, aka Soulful. I really like your videos, and I wanted to thank you first of all for posting them. Um, it's not often enough that we get to learn things from women in our society. Like, people have been brainwashed to believe that you can't really depend on a woman to talk about anything of any real importance, or to be able to have any type of I guess intellectual conversation about anything that might govern the way we might live life or see things or do things. Anyway, that's off the topic. The topic today is African internationalism and socialism. I wanted to make a response to you because I really see what you're going with, everything you're talking about, but I had a lot of questions to ask, and they're not really like, they may sound like attacks, but they're really just, I guess I'm kind of playing the devil's advocate, and I'd really like to see what you had to say about them, because I'm really curious about some of these things, like how you would plan um, to address some of these specific situations. Um, you talked about African internationalism and about how black people across the world should see themselves as one people, and not like, okay, well, I'm American, or I'm Haitian, or I'm Nigerian, or whatever, but should see themselves as one people without borders. So in order to do that, we would first have to define what black is. And by black, are we talking about just anybody of color? Are we incorporating that one drop of blood rule? If we are, does that include Mexicans or other races of people who have a mixture of African blood? Who exactly would I mean? How would you define black? I mean, especially since Africa is the cradle of civilization, the first people were black. I mean, you could really even technically argue that white people are black, which they obviously aren't. But, I mean, if everyone came from Africa, I mean, how or where could you draw the line, especially with mixed people, or, like I said, races that might have black blood in it somewhere far down the line? Um, Another question that I had was, um, how is it? How can we? I mean, even if we could define what black was, how could we unite across the world to take advantage of the resources in Africa, that would actually be rightfully ours? I mean, if we could really define black, and let's say everyone African of African descent, like going back like 10 generations would count, or whatever. How do we unite to take advantage of the resources in Africa, or to keep, at least keep Africa from being raped? I mean, would we all need to return there and like forcefully take control of what's going on there, or would we need to continue staying where we are and grow in power and use our resources where we are to send aid, or influence over to make a difference in Africa, or are we just staying where we are and just working together? I'm not quite clear on exactly how that would work. Um, and then how is it that we could go? How can we even convince the African diaspora that we are all one people? Like, how do we convince all black people that we are all black? I mean, most of the friends that I have, most of my close friends that I have in the city right now believe that they're Hebrew. You know, they don't even think that they're African. They think that they're Hebrew, and they see Hebrew as a completely separate race from African. So, I mean, even with that small sect of people who have those particular beliefs, there are an untold amount of different people all over the world that believe that they are different than other people for whatever the reason may be, religion, um, nationality, whatever, and they may be the same color but completely consider themselves different people. How is it that we can even bring people together enough to think that, to even start, I mean, even for us to work together as, I mean, in order for us to work together as one people, we have to at least think that we're one people. Then once we start thinking that we're one people, we have to go about coming with a common solution, coming up with some type of common solution to solve the issues that we as one people have. So how is it that we could even convince the next man or next person or woman or whoever that we're the same race? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We might need Bob Marley back or some. I don't know. Again, another thing is socialism. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about socialism the other day. I like the idea of socialism. I actually agree that it can solve a lot of problems that we have. I just don't understand. Like, I think it's ideal, but I just don't know how it could work. Like, even before slavery, Africans didn't consider themselves to be one people. There's so many different people in Africa on one continent with different customs and different languages and beliefs. I mean,